Hello, today is Thursday, September 19th. This presentation will look back to the climate numbers for September up to this date, and then look ahead to the latest outlook for the cold season to come. So far, September 2013 has been a very wet and warm month. In the upper portion of this slide are the current precipitation amounts recorded at regional airports as of the 18th of September. In parentheses are the departure from normal to date. You can see that all airports are well above normal, with Durango reporting 1.73 inches above average. Average temperatures in the lower half of the slide have been running much above normal. Canyonlands and Craig airports are at a whopping 10 degrees above normal for the month so far. The monsoon season, defined as a moist south to north moist flow, has unofficially come to an end on September 19th this year. Here is the upper level weather pattern at noon on the 19th. The first in a series of Pacific troughs is passing through the northern Rockies. This trough has pushed the monsoonal moisture to the south and east, and by Friday, September the 20th, a ridge of high pressure will build over Utah and Colorado. Then the next Pacific trough, shown here in the eastern Pacific, will pass over the region on Sunday, bringing scattered showers and thunderstorms along with gusty winds. Not shown here is a third low-pressure trough that will approach the region on Wednesday, September 25th, that could bring a mixture of unsettled weather for the remainder of that week. The fall months are an important time of year for eastern Utah and western Colorado. Here are three annual precipitation graphs for Craig in northwest Colorado at the top, Grand Junction in west central Colorado central, and Cortez in southwest Colorado at the bottom. You can see that September and October are normally the wettest months of the year. By the way, September and October are the severe thunderstorm season for this region, when the mid to upper portions of the atmosphere have colder air and more wind shear in place that support stronger thunderstorms capable of producing larger hail. So here's the outlook for October from the Climate Prediction Center. On the left is the temperature probability chart. The large brown area centered over the Great Basin indicates a shift of probabilities towards warmer than normal conditions, including for eastern Utah and western Colorado. On the right, the precipitation probability chart indicates an area of increased chances of drier than normal conditions in northeast Colorado, but for this forecast area and much of the nation, there is less forecast skill, so there are equal chances of above, near, and below normal precipitation. What about for the fall season? Out at this time frame, climatologists are no longer tracking individual storms, but are looking to the state of the Pacific Ocean for clues to future storm track and intensity. In the equatorial eastern Pacific, between the dateline and the coast of Ecuador, is the Niño 3.4 region outlined here by the red box. Warmer than normal temperatures in this region are called El Niño. Colder than normal temperatures define La Niña. Together, these are the warm and cold phases of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO for short. Here is a chart showing current sea surface temperature departure from normal, with the Niño 3.4 region roughly enclosed in the red box. Near normal conditions have been in place for the last 12 months, and these neutral conditions have continued into mid-September. So for the last year, we've been in ENSO neutral conditions, neither El Niño nor La Niña. Here's a somewhat technical slide showing the forecast from numerous models of how temperature within the Niño 3.4 region will vary into the fall and winter and even into the spring of 2014, from left to right across the graph. You can see the majority of the forecast lines remain close to the 0.0 line. In other words, a forecast that ENSO neutral conditions will continue. But there is a general trend upward with time towards warmer than normal conditions, so there is some potential for El Niño conditions to emerge this coming cold season. This chart shows the best forecast for ENSO is neutral conditions this cold season, with some slight possibility of El Niño developing later. By the way, since 1950, La Niña has never occurred after a neutral ENSO season, so from a historical perspective, La Niña is unlikely. ENSO neutral seasons are wildcard seasons because unlike El Nino or La Nina, the jet stream and storm track have no preferred path. Looking back through our climate record, ENSO neutral conditions have produced both extremely dry and extremely wet winters. This brings us to the Climate Prediction Center's outlook for the October, November, December season. On the left chart, you can see our shift towards warmer probabilities centered near the four corners. The right chart of precipitation probabilities suffers from the uncertainty of an ENSO neutral fall season. So equal chances of near, above, or below normal precipitation is the CPC's forecast for now. Indeed, if you go to the Climate Prediction Center's website, all of the seasonal outlooks into the fall of 2014 look similar to these charts. They show a warm shift of probabilities centered over the desert southwest with an equal chances precipitation outlook. But let's take a look at some local data to see if there's a hint for precipitation this coming winter. Here is a list of ENSO neutral winters since 1950. There are 19 of them, the last being last winter. Within the last 15 winters, we have had 3 ENSO neutral seasons, 2012-13 of course, then 2003 and 4, and 2001 and 2. These 3 seasons are probably our best model for the winter to come. Here is a chart of average snowfall for 6 Colorado Mountain Cooperative Observer sites with long and strong climate records. Those sites are Steamboat Springs, Winter Park, Breckenridge, Aspen, Crested Butte, and Silverton. This graph starts in July so that we can see the winter in one curve. And here in blue are the 19 ENSO neutral years plotted. You can see a shift towards drier than normal winters. Finally, in red are the 3 ENSO neutral winters within the last 15 years. You can see a stronger shift towards drier than normal conditions. All 3 of these seasons had below normal snowfall, especially in the very dry 2001 to 2002 season. So there seems to be a local trend towards drier than normal winters during ENSO neutral conditions. This ends this climate outlook. The next seasonal outlook will be available in late October. Thank you for listening.